just a good old boy.
Alrighty, today is going to be part 2 of the case skid steer hydraulic line replacement. That line was $132.93 for the hydraulic line. So I knew it was going to be higher, but I mean, damn line, $132. People wonder why you can't make no money in the hay business. Well, that's why. But I mean, I'd rather it be a rubber hose than a steel line, because if it's been a steel line, it'd been even more. And the steel lines will bust. I do know that for a fact. Oh. Alright, so I'd rather this thing have a hose line than a steel line, because the hoses I can get made anywhere for one, and I don't have to wait on them, because with New Holland problem I've run into there, the dealers around here, it's been taking them forever since COVID hit to get any parts at all. So I can just go get a hose made anytime like I did with this one and get all that took care of pretty quick, get back at it. And the hoses typically are cheaper than the steel lines, and I'd say if this thing would have had a steel line, it would have been more than what I give for the hose. So I just assume have the hoses. And I really like this. Has been a good loader, so I can't complain about it. But can't complain about it. It definitely is more than paid for that hose and itself over the years. So no complaints there. I just wish this dirt wouldn't have gotten the bottom of this thing, and it wouldn't have never done this. And it'd have been perfect if they had a pan on the bottom you could drop like the New Holland has. I could have cleaned all this crap out of the bottom easily. Got it all out of here. Wouldn't have to worry about it no more. Could have got these lines super easy, but they don't. Could cut a hole in it and fix it to where you could bolt it back on yourself if I really wanted to, but if it give trouble all the time and I was in here in the bottom, kneeling in the bottom all the time, I might look into doing that, but being it don't, I'm not going to fool with it. So hopefully get this back together, and I'm gonna try to take a water hose or something and wash the rest of that's in the bottom out through the oil drain hole and get it cleaned out through there and get all that fixed. So let's see if we can't get this hose back in here now. I got me a few more handfuls of dirt. I just don't want to stick this thing down in the dirt. Let's see, this end's got to go this way. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to tape this thing on the end so that way I don't get trash in it. Alright, I got it taped up. I'm going to try to shove it back down in there where it was at, but the area it goes at. These here go behind the motor down in here. They feed through right through there. I don't know if you can see the hose down there in the bottom. It says PSI on it. Right through there and in front of that oil pan that's down there is where this particular one is supposed to go. Whether I can get it through there, I don't know. I'm gonna try. But these hoses, these 3/4 line hoses, are stiff as all get out. And you can't get them through there. It went somewhere. I don't know where it went, but it went somewhere. Let's go see if I can see it sticking out the other side. Let's move this pulp pipe out of the way. I don't need it. Oh, I got the camera. I got the camera and the flashlight backwards. Oh man, it went all the way back there. That's not what I wanted it to do. Not where I wanted that thing to end up. My truck's unlocking. Alrighty. Got the other side tight. So now we gotta get down here and get this side tight. This side's the fun side. Let me move y'all down here just so y'all can see what I'm having to deal with. In here, this little 1/4 inch of a turn. Maybe in there I'll get it tight. I'll turn y'all off for now. Alright, so we got all the lines back on. It's time to move the cab forward. So we gotta slide the cab back forward on this thing. Had a time getting it open, but it shouldn't be that bad going back now that I got everything loose. Alright, got that done. Hey y'all, today's gonna be part 2 to putting this thing back together. But before we get to that, somebody asked about this thing. I have pointed this out before. I made the frame for this, but it actually comes as a kit for this thing. This is what you call a double barrel wood stove. A lot of people probably have seen this thing. I burn wood in here to heat the shop. Need installation. If I had installation, it'd run me out of here. It'd be so hot. But basically, you could buy a kit at Tractor Supply. It has little feet on it. Then it has another piece that goes between here and there, and that barrel. This barrel will actually sit lower right down here. It'll come with this plate, that plate, and this plate, and then it'll come with this front bolt up plate to go on the lid. You just cut your hole out of the lid and you bolt this in, and you got a door that's cast and a little slider for vent holes down there. Works pretty good. If you had an insulated shop, works great. Now this shop's about a I want to say it's 24 foot by 36 foot is what this shop is. It's 24 foot wide but 36 foot long, and then it's I think it's 15 feet to the center peak top, and then on the sides it's down to 11 foot is what I want to say it is. I may be wrong, it may just be 14 feet, but I can't remember. Anyway, it heats it up pretty decent in here. I mean, there's no insulation. If it had insulation, like I said, it'd be nice and toasty. But I made the frame. I didn't like the little feet things because you have to run bolts through the barrels for the feet to go in to hold it together. I didn't like that. I wanted to make it where these barrels could be easily changeable if they need to be. Now this barrel on the bottom's in its 4th year. I put bricks in the bottom of it to keep it from getting the bottom too hot. And I don't burn every day in here, but I burn probably pretty occasionally throughout the winter in here, and it's held up. This is probably the third barrel I've had in here since I put the second on the double barrel. Originally I started with a single barrel and that was it, and that's why this plate's down here with the damper and everything. It's supposed to be up here, but I had when I made this when I made this a double barrel, when I made this a double barrel, that was already mounted on it because I started with a single barrel and the pipe just went up and then out. And I ended up fixing it, just leaving it that way, and I put both of these on the ends and just left the damper down there. But it's supposed to be up here. But the second barrel, if you're wondering what's the purpose in it, is it's supposed to catch heat and keep it from going all the way up the pipe. Is the purpose in the second barrel. And it works good. The second barrel you'll never have to replace, pretty much. They just don't go bad because it doesn't have any direct fire going in. It's just heat, so they'll last for a long time. I have replaced the bottom one, like I said, and these were already mounted on this second barrel, so I went ahead and just put it back like it was. I'm due to put another barrel in there. I don't like to leave them too long because I don't want it to collapse or anything like that. But I made it to where it's easy just to change them out real quick. The lid, you just take the bolt out, you loosen the clamp up, pop it off, pick this barrel up from the back end. You don't even have to undo all that piping. Pull that out, cut you a hole, stick that piece back in, slide it in, put the lid back on. You can put a new barrel in it in about 30 minutes, and it's real easy to do. And then it's just got the regular stove pipe that goes up. It is a shop. It's not the double wall pipe or nothing like that, so I'm not worried about it. And it's just tin on the sides, so it's not like there's anything to really catch on fire. It works good. I wish I had a large one that was made out of steel in here, that was bigger, that I could really build a lot bigger fire in. Being I don't have insulation, and work better. This little bird, I don't know if y'all can see him up there on top of the door, has got to be the luckiest bird I have ever seen in my life. I opened that door on that heater and he was in the bottom, and then he disappeared and I couldn't find him. I don't know if he flew back up the pipe or what when I was putting the wood in there. So I put the wood in there, and I put the paper in there and everything, and I got it all lit and got everything burning, and it was burning for a good 3 or 4 minutes, and it was a pretty good flame there because I threw some oil and diesel fuel in there to get it going. And then all of a sudden I had the door closed to keep, so it'd make it go to drawing up through there, and I opened the door just to look to see what the fire was doing, all the way open, and then that damn bird come out of the fire and flew right out past me. Right up in there. He ain't hurt. I don't know how he did not get seized or something, but it's flying around pooping everywhere now and tweeting. There he is, little chimney sweep. It's just I get the one lucky bird right there. But anyway, we got to get back to this. So first thing off, we're going to try to hook these linkages back up. I figured I'd just start here, might as well try to get these in here. Try to find a place to put y'all where I'm not in my way and y'all can see everything I'm doing down here. There we go. But we gotta hook these up first, and these are gonna be fun. I'm gonna have to get some new little cotter pins to go in these too. They're a little bit of a pain to get to down in here on the side. There's not, again, there's not a lot of room to work in these things. Which, oh no, oh no. Maybe this time I'll have a little better luck. You know what I'm gonna do? I'll do the inside first. That'll be the smart thing to do. somebody to wiggle that handle for me, but I ain't got nobody. Here, wiggle it. Which one is it? Okay, it's the opposite side. Great. I can reach this side, but I can't reach the other side. There it goes. There we go. Now I gotta find me a little cotter pin. Turn the right direction. There we go. Now, there. So that's got that hooked up. Now we got to do the fuel, the throttle. All right, so now we've got to hook this throttle cable up. What is it funny? Seems like it's binding. These things have a little spring-loaded slip piece right over them. If it hadn't been used in a while, it can be a pain to get to come off. Back home, it's supposed to make it easier, which it does if it's working right. Feels like it's up against something it's not supposed to be. I see what it is. Alongside the dang wire. Son of a beep. There it is. Got it then. Here, let me stick y'all down in there where y'all can see something. So down in here, there's a, see that little clip right there in front of you? The light's shining right on it now. That little piece there has a little spring. Let's see if I can't get this thing right here. And this little collar right here slides back, and that's what releases that thing from going on there if you're going to attempt to do this. Now, we've got to fix y'all right here. We've got to put the light over here somewhere. Hook back up the linkage rods. In. No idea why that is run like that, but it is. It was that way, I think, before. Touched it because it was slid forward. Let's see if we can get this loose and I'll move that thing. I'd rather have it just laying down in there than getting worked on all every time it's used or moved. It needs a zip tie right there. I'll have to put one on it. I don't know why that's there. It's not. That's the safety or the seat wiring harness to make sure the operator is in the seat. If you lift your butt out of the seat while it's moving or something, it'll shut off. There's that. Now let's hook this one back up. Here. Tuck these down. There, that'll work. Get that hooked back up. Put this in place. Got all that fixed. Back where it's supposed to go. Throttle linkage hooked up. All that's working. Yeah. Now we have to hook the parking brake cables up. Where the hell are they? There's one of them on that side. Up here it is. Pushed it back in that hay. I gotta get all this hay out. I get it outside, which I'm not gonna do today because it's blowing like crazy and it's cold outside. We went from 70-degree weather Tuesday to back to the 30s today. It's always good for cattle. It's hard on me too. It was cold this morning when I come out compared to yesterday. I left my coat in the truck. And I was about to freeze and I come out of the house. They just laughing at me saying, "You idiot." I had another coat in the house, but I didn't want to bring two out. I just figured I'd run to the truck, grab my other one. I come in, I had my raincoat on. That's why I didn't have it on with me. I'd put a raincoat on instead of my Carhartt because it was raining. And I left my Carhartt out in the truck. And it was cold this morning. These are real easy to undo and do there. That really should probably be tighter than that. These probably need adjusting. I'll have to look in the book and see what it says as far as that goes. That probably should not be dangling like that. Loose, I wouldn't think. Because these pins down here, redirect the light right here. Or pull back. Let's put the bar down and see what it does. Yeah, that one there's not even. It's pulled back when it's like that, but I would think it's supposed to be tighter than that. This one here is alright, but that one there should be working better. And those pins, well, this thing's parking brake works, which I don't like it. This is one of the few things I don't, other than the stability of this loader I don't like is these. The old John Deere we had a foot pedal you push down and it would lock it in place. And then the New Holland has a button you push and it locks it in place. And it won't move. These, they have pins that engage, that stick in there into the hub. And when the bar's down, or yeah, when the bar's up, these relax and allow those pins to slide in, and they catch in that hub, and that's what keeps it from moving. Well, this thing may have to roll sometimes 3 or 4 feet before it finally catches in the right slot with these pins. So it's a little bit aggravating, especially if you're getting off and you don't want it to move and you just want it to sit still, because sometimes you get these things when you're doing stuff in a certain spot and you just want them to sit still. It won't do that because of the way that's designed. Now, that being said, it is a really reliable, cheap design that doesn't hardly ever give trouble. Versus the older New Hollands and stuff that had the pull-up handbrake ones that had those cables and everything constantly give trouble. These have never given any trouble as long as we've had it. Granted, they look pretty bad right now, and I might have to clean that out and fix that too. So what happens when you keep these things in chicken houses for forever and they don't ever hardly come out. You grease them in the house and they just constantly and blow out the air filters, wash the radiator out every so often. This is what happens to these things. And this has definitely been the workhorse of the skid steers for years on the farm. This thing's been used for everything. This is one tough little sucker, I'll say that. This is one hell of a machine. These 1840s were good machines. I may not like everything about them, about the design, but there's one thing I can tell you about them: they're tough and they're reliable. They're not the biggest machine in the world, they're only 40 horse. There are counterparts that are a little bigger, good machines too, but they are tough and they just keep working. They're simple and they're tough. And those two I love: tough and keep working. Let's see, now we got to put the bolts in, and then that will wrap up this job, other than setting the seat back in.